Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, we are live. Welcome to Tuesdays.
What's up, people?
We're doing our thing. So,
Another wonderful day.
yes. If you have to choose between listening to our podcast and going to vote for the polls closed, go
Go
vote.
vote.
No, listen to our podcast.
No,
No,
go vote.
go vote.
Look, listen to our podcast on your phone on the way to voting.
There you go. Take us with you to the polls.
Right.
But tonight we're going to talk about compatibility. And that's kind of like a foundation of pink flags. We've been taking it back to the beginning, like, why do you need to be mindful? And it's kind of like when you meet somebody, will they eventually compromise you morally or physically or financially? Can you see that coming up down the road? Spiritually, if you're like me and you do not align yourself with a particular religion, I can't see myself ever being with someone who is particularly church going because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was on a dating app and I matched with this guy and was like, "What do you do?" "I'm a baker. I can't eat grain." So there was no point. He was okay to look at. I didn't get to know him. It was like, "What do you do?" "I bake." "What do you do?" "I don't eat baked goods." All right, bye. Nice talk.
Hold up, but just because you can't eat baked goods, he might didn't care if you didn't eat his baked goods.
I think he cared.
Oh, if he cared, that's a different story. But now, what if he didn't care?
If he didn't care, he would have kept on texting on the app.
Oh, okay.
But we weren't at that point. It was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm a professional, this, that, the other thing, and I make wonderful cakes for the people I love. And it's like, can you make me like a vegan
He was
stuffed
gonna try to get you fat.
another with no grain?
Because if I'm a baker, I would be happy. I'd
That
be
I
like,
wasn't
damn, now
looking.
I don't gotta bake for her. Like she don't care about this. I don't gotta like people think because you're a baker or whatever, now you gotta bake for everybody. And
Right.
if I
Let's
was with you, I
fast
wouldn't have
forward to what matters to you.
right, right.
Agreed.
You met a girl that was like, I am never ever going to have sex again for my life.
If I met a girl that would say that
Yeah,
and I liked her, I'll be like, okay, I
No,
won't
you
have
wouldn't.
he
what?
would
Stop it.
not.
Oh yeah, I
Stop.
would. But because I'm not having sex with her doesn't mean I'm not gonna have sex with no one else.
But she has the expectation that if you're
Oh
romantically
no,
involved,
no, no, no. So now you already know.
thank you, Ebony. Thank you. Ebony says stop.
No, I'm
You're not
saying
gonna get romantically involved with someone who's going to keep the romance on the G rating.
now the whole thing is if she doesn't agree to it, then I can't deal with her. But like now, if we have a conversation and she's like, listen, I'm no longer into sex, but I really dig you and I like you and I want to see you. So I don't mind you having sex with each other, with others. We could talk about it. But if she can't agree to that, then
What would be her purpose in your life then?
what happened?
What would be her purpose in your life then?
Friendship,
Will we be
compatibility,
friends?
compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like it's more to a relationship than sex.
Agreed.
Oh no,
But
there's so much more.
right,
That's
But at the end of the day, I'm not at that point in my life that I don't want sex. So in order to stay with this young lady, she would have to have that agreement and understand, like,
It
all
would never.
right, we're in a relationship, but since I'm not willing to fulfill your needs, it's all right for you to go out and fulfill your needs with someone else. And I would be like, sure, okay.
Could
But
that be? Could
that's extra.
be a real relationship?
Yeah.
You guys are incompatible.
You're right.
Why?
Because real, like, I mean, ideally, we can say, oh, you compatible. You don't want to have sex. Let's agree to some. Let's agree to some crazy shit. And first of all, feelings get involved. If you ain't there to cuddle with her when she
We
want
could
to,
do all that. That you could cuddle, you could
but
do
what if
all
you
that.
want to cuddle tonight? You want to have sex. You gonna pick the sex. Okay.
So you're gonna have then you're gonna have a relationship with two people or more than two people.
Right.
Right,
You're gonna have like your main person who is not meeting your physical needs,
right,
but theoretically meeting your emotional needs.
right.
I mean,
And you're gonna go and find someone, and hopefully they meet all your
I swear I'm gonna fight Sean.
I'm here.
okay. And this person's gonna meet your physical needs, and you're gonna try your level best not to catch feelings.
Then when you go into the physical
That's
needs,
too much
you
drama.
gotta understand what it is.
That's too much drama.
All right,
Is
Sean.
not, if she is not willing to suck your dick, let it go.
She
It,
might be willing to do that.
No, no, no. This is like nothing, nothing. No,
yeah,
like
for
Oh,
drama.
if she ain't willing to do nothing,
you're not even. She's not even gonna take a shower with you. You're not gonna see her naked.
You're asking for drama. Let her
well,
go. Tell her to go to the nunnery.
and that situation, no, we could never work.
Right.
If because now let me put it like this. Say you was in a situation, you with someone, they have an accident, they no longer could perform. Now, if a person loves you and they know they can't do their spousely duties or whatever, they're gonna be like, yo, do what you have to do. I can't do it.
First of all, eh, me and Kevin was not married. We know he had kidney failure. There was times Kevin slept for days. That man didn't tell me go have sex with somebody else.
Oh, come on. I don't mean it. You know what I mean.
We
You
wasn't
know what the
married.
old saying
We
is,
weren't
"Oh,
married.
my doctor says I can't have sex for 6 weeks." What did your dentist say?
Right. Right. You got to get some sort of sexual gratification to be with somebody.
You
Some
definitely do.
sex counts.
Oh,
I want
look who you
somebody.
telling.
That's what I'm saying.
Look who you tell. But like I said, I'm gonna hit you with the real.
What's for you?
You
What's
have you have people that are swingers. You have people that are poly. You have all these different.
but pink flags takes it back to the egg. You haven't gotten that far. You
Uh
meet
huh.
somebody. Pink flags is really like about the first 6 months of your relationship. I can't unless
Now, in the first 6 months of our relationship, if a person tell me there's no way I'm gonna have sex with you, I'm not fucking with you. No, not at all.
that's what I'm talking about.
But I'm talking about if you're already in a relationship and say something happens and the person can no
No,
longer have sex.
if I was with a man for a long time and he got prostate cancer,
Hmm.
because like I'm of that age where I could meet somebody and they would be like, I got prostate cancer. a few years ago, and I'm going to have a really tough time keeping it together.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really feel comfortable going part of the way. Like just, you know, giving me something and not getting much in return because like the parts don't work. And I definitely know more than I should about prostate cancer. But anyway, and so they feel some kind of way like they always have to take care of my needs, and they don't have needs that should be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can't handle that.
Right.
If we were together and it came like 2, 3 years down the road, then I would figure it out. But if I met you right now, I can't make like a commitment to somebody that's not where.
No, I respect that. I understand that.
So, somebody who know us, who's watching the podcast,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
said, "Stop lying." Why? She just texted me. Somebody who was a part of our 113 crew. She told me to text you. Stop lying.
But I'm not lying. My thing is, if you're open and honest from the start, and this
No.
person says,
No.
I want to have a relationship with you, but we can't have sex. I might like you enough to like have a relation. We became basically
You just
roommates.
friendship though, right? It's not a relationship.
Right.
Typical I'm not husband. A girlfriend and boyfriend
Right.
relationship.
It's no longer a romantic relationship. Now it's more of
A friendship.
a roommate, something
A
like
friend.
that. Yeah, you just helping me with bills. I'm cool with that too. So we could work on that. Like
She said
whatever.
Stone Cold is lying. She called you Stone Cold.
Oh wow. Wow.
See, this
But
thing. You have to tell me things too.
but like I said, you have different people dealing with different types of relationships. So it's whatever you could work with. If that person.
Agreed. That will be your friend. That ain't gonna be your girlfriend.
All right, right. That's cool.
Okay.
That's cool. I'll admit to that. I'll
Okay.
admit to that. That you ain't gonna be my girl. We'll be friends, but you ain't gonna be my girl. Nah. I need that intimate touch. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll admit to that. But then like I said, with the compatibility, it even goes to like Barbara said, you may have a person that's super religious, want to go to church every weekend, and I'm like, yo, I don't fuck with that. I can't do that.
All right. Y'all know I am Jesus Christ to the bone.
Which is fine. You found somebody who will go to church with you.
He will go to church with me and he will pray with me when need be, but he's not super religious. Like he's not. But there is a happy medium
He
where
has that compromise.
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And compromise is like the total name of the game when it comes to stuff like that. Compromise is the name of the game
Right.
because no, you can't have a 5 day a week and a 1 day of the week, but you can have a 5 day of the week and a 3 day of the week.
Yeah. Agreed.
You know,
There's a compromise there. It's
you
like
can say that you could have a
or
1 day of the week
or wait,
and just
you
cuddle.
you could have a 1 and a 5 if there's a compromise. Meaning, listen, you like it once a week, I like it 5. If we get meet in the middle somewhere, if I get it between 1 and 5, then we good. Then it might could work.
It could. another another compatibility issue is you meet somebody and they tell you that they have never they've never had a credit rating higher than like 550.
Mm.
Then what do you do?
Get him a credit repair person.
For me, it depends.
Right, because it could be something where, because honestly, I feel like we weren't really taught about credit and stuff like that when we were young.
No, we don't talk like amongst ourselves about credit ratings and things like that.
Right. And we weren't taught that. Like, I know a lot
No.
of people, we were not taught that. So if somebody, messed up their credit and they've only had a five what? 580, you said?
She said 550.
550. You can help that person build that up. I don't think that's a deal breaker because you can build up your credit. You could show them, listen, get a credit card and you buy gas and you this and you that, and you could teach somebody how to get their credit up.
But see, it's also goes back to what you said. If that person's willing to
Right.
try
It
to build up their
depends on whether
credit,
they're a bum or they're just not financially literate.
right, right. If a person is willing to try to learn and try to do better, I could work on it. But now, if I got a young lady that I'm talking to and she has a bad credit rating and all she wants to do is spend money and don't want to do anything to fix the situation, then I can't. No, we can't have a serious relationship.
Right.
Not at all. But you can be a jump off. So
Jesus, fix it.
what
Fix it, Jesus.
but we're being honest. Like
You know, you're
she didn't want nothing to
and
me. If
she's remarkable in every way. But
Right.
she tells you that like she's been having some issues with credit cards and she's really maxed out and she has no extra money and you walk into her house and there's like a big ass bag from Louis Vuitton.
well, right there to me, she's showing me that she's kind of shallow. And if that's what you're all about, you're not for me. I don't care about name brands and all that. I care about let's get this house together. I care about let's be able to travel and do what we have to do. I care about the fact that it shouldn't be all on me and it shouldn't be all on her. Let's do it together. Let's build this kingdom together. And if you're not willing to do what you have to do to make it work for both of us, bye.
Ebony said that that's a problem for her, especially if they're not working on fixing it. And she said it boils down to discipline and structure. Right. But that's something to me that can be taught.
Oh, it can absolutely be taught. It can
That's
really be
that's 100%. But the person has to be willing to be taught and to participate.
right.
So if a person is not willing to do what they have to do, then you have to leave them alone. You have to go about your business. And I don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to mess up your future dealing with someone that's not willing to ride with you. And that's the thing. And that's where the compatibility comes. Like if a person like say I'm with a woman and she's a big time shopper. I understand. Like I don't expect you to go from splurging every week to never splurging, but you have to understand that you have to rein in yourself and find that medium where it works for both of us.
Yeah, like some people, Layla said,
Yes,
some people
Layla's right.
weren't raised in a household where they were taught that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But just like you said, now when you get with the next person that could help you and could show you better, you have to be willing to learn. And you have to be willing to participate in doing better. You can't just talk about it, you have to be about it.
That's true.
That's like saying that's like saying what the hell is it? That's like having someone that is always very aggressive, and you tell this person like, listen, I don't like that aggression. I don't like the way you speak to me. And a person doesn't try to fix that. It's similar to that. It's like you got to be willing to do the work and work with the person and make sure that you're on the same level of doing things. And you can't just sit there and tell a person like, oh, what anything goes. Like you have to be willing to put in that work and work with one another.
Yeah, agree. Agree. But like, I mean, but what I'm saying is that's not a deal. It shouldn't be a deal breaker, in my opinion. Only because that's something that can be taught. Like for me, you can't, if you really know me, Maya Angelou is my all-time favorite poet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing she was doing an interview, she was like, you know that saying, if somebody, if you somebody show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Uh-huh.
Like, so if somebody say I'm mean and you super nice or whatever like that, that's you can't teach somebody how to be nice. They're mean and that's it. You understand what I'm saying? That's a character flaw. That
Yeah.
can't be taught. You know what I'm saying? So if you're super nice, and I think the three of us are, we can't really be in a relationship with somebody who's mean, who's nasty, who's always, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
snapping off.
That's a
We can't.
fundamental
We
value.
can't. That's not compatible for us.
But I'm gonna go back on what you just said. You know, I'm always gonna have the yin to your yang.
Mm-hmm.
So when you consider somebody super mean or whatever, that depends on perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That depends on perspective. Like some of you guys call me icebox. I am not an icebox, but that depends on your
Oh, that's for
perspective.
you, Chili Willy, for now on.
Yes, that depends on perspective. Like I said, I don't think I'm icebox. I think I look at things from a certain point of view, and I won't allow certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, certain things I may not allow, someone else will allow. So now they're considered sweet or kinder, and I may be considered that icebox. But if the person I was with understands, like, all right, he don't go for A, B, and C, and I'm not doing A, B, and C, we don't have those problems. So I don't have to be that way with that person now.
See, now I get what you're saying, but I guess when we call you Icebox, it's different because it's like, we see. I think it's a difference between being cold and just not accepting stuff.
Right. And I'm just not accepting stuff.
And you cold.
Not at all. Not at all.
But like, I mean, so to me, you can't be where when you're not accepting stuff, like, so compatibility for me is you would have to be with somebody too that is like just not with the bullshit.
Right. We
So
both can't we both can't be with the bullshit.
you say y'all both can?
We both can't be with it. We both
He's got
not
to be
about
like
games.
the nicer, more open-minded person.
Right.
Not gonna work.
Right.
But like, there are other things like compatibility. What is something that like you just disagree? Like this whole voting thing today.
So you're saying a Democrat and a Republican can't be together?
No, no, no. I don't got. You know what? I
That
could
might be
do that.
hard though. That might be a little hard though when you think about it.
I could do that if their motivation is strictly financial. But I'd still have in the back of my mind that, all right, if your motivation is strictly financial, that means you don't care about women. You don't care about people that don't look like you. You don't care about people that don't have the same sexual orientation as you. You don't care about people that don't have the same religious values as you.
Right. That's what I was
So
gonna say. Right. That's what I was gonna say because some of the stuff of who's Democrat, who's Republican, who's liberal, who's those are some deep core morals that we follow as people. You know what I'm saying? Like this a whole abortion thing. You know what I'm saying? If you're for abortion, then you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna be with the Republicans and they nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But if
But
you're
there's
not,
Republicans
how
out
could
there
you how could you
that's for abortion also.
I'm just giving an example, but I'm just saying, like, how could you agree with somebody who, because if you're with somebody who's for abortions and you're not for abortions and you get pregnant and you like, I don't know, I don't think I want this. You know what I'm saying?
and the thing is that there's so many incidences. If you ever talk to anybody that worked at like a Planned Parenthood clinic, they will tell you that people that are like pro-life walk in every day and they're just mean to the people that work there. They're like, there's got to be something wrong with you that you work here. And it's really, really fucked up in a fundamental way. And my thing is, even though it's like the right to have an abortion or the right to not have an abortion, it's more than that. It's the right for any given woman to make a choice about what she's going to do with her body.
Right.
Because you, if you ever talk to a woman that miscarried at like 8 months, she will tell you there is no guarantee that there is going to be like some bouncing baby on your lap in a year.
Agreed.
And
I
I can think
understand
of
that.
half dozen women that this has happened to, and it is something that they will never like open up to a random person about. It is something that is so inside their own soul that they're never going to talk about their feelings attached to that. And it's so, even women that have had like a miscarriage at 6 weeks or 8 weeks, that they were kind of like excited and enthusiastic. It's not really about that. It's about having the choice to do what you need to do for your body, for your family.
All
Right.
right, I'm gonna ask you something as a woman.
Yeah.
Should a man have a right to say whether he wants the baby or not?
There was a case. It was actually a legal case. Um, I forget what state it was, but they forced the woman to have the baby because the man was like, "Look, you cannot terminate this pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
I will not allow it." And the state that now has a ban on abortion upheld this.
Mm-hmm.
And she did have the baby, and she at birth signed away her parental rights. She was like, "I am not meant to be a mother."
Okay.
And she was paying child support but not having any visitation. And
But do
he,
you agree with that?
if that's what she wants to do, yeah. And you got to respect that.
No, but what I'm saying is, say a woman's in a relationship with a man. She gets pregnant. Now the man is like, I don't want no baby. He doesn't have the right to say she had 90% of the time. That's a rare occasion. But most of the time, he doesn't have the right to say she has to terminate that pregnancy. Now he has to deal with child support and all this.
If you do not want to risk the possibility of creating another human being, then
Uh-huh.
you be 100, 150, 200, 250% responsible for making sure that you don't cause a conception.
But
I agree with
it
that.
also takes
No,
two to
wait.
tangle.
No, I agree with that, and that intertwines in the compatibility thing.
It's
Because
always the birth control is left to the woman. The decision to keep or terminate is left to the woman. The decision whether or not to pursue child support is left to the women. It's all, it falls on your lap because you have a uterus. So it's really nice. And I'm going to, Layla says, men can have an opinion, but ultimately it's a woman's decision. They shouldn't have to carry a baby for 9 months and suffer the hardship of pregnancy and childbirth for a child that they didn't want.
And
If
I
you
don't disagree
wanted
with
to
that.
see something, I had a baby at 17 from someone who did not stay with me for very much longer and who is now deceased. God rest his soul. But my body, because I was so small and my baby was so big, my body was disfigured from that moment forward. There was no, whether I kept the baby or I didn't keep the baby, there was no denying that I brought a child into the world. And I had a really hard recovery. So I gave up so much. Like I gave up so much for somebody who, at the time, when it was decision making time, he really, really, really wanted a baby. But by the time the baby came along, he really thought we should be seeing other people.
oh shit.
But I kind of agree with Sean. That's a conversation you guys should have in the beginning.
Yeah, that's a
We had
compatibility
that
thing because
conversation in the beginning. He was all about fatherhood.
no, what I'm saying is I get that. But what I'm saying is if now that's a whole different circumstance. If he's saying he wanted the baby, then he did like somewhere there was lies being told. But like what I'm saying is in the beginning,
Oh, I'm all about that, Layla. I was, yeah.
in the
I'm
beginning, it should be talked about, and it's like if once it's talked about, if he even seemed like he don't want a thing, then you need to be protected, and he needs to protect himself. I have sons, and I tell him, you don't want no more kids, wrap that shit up. You can't get mad after you done impregnated somebody because y'all both was being irresponsible. And now she wants to keep a baby. You can't be mad at that because you did not take the necessary precautions to make sure you don't have this kid you say you don't want.
All right, what about the situation where, and this really happens, the young lady that says, "Oh, I'm pregnant." Yes, she's pregnant, but down the road you find out it's not your baby.
Oh shit.
Yes, it happens.
no, it happens.
So now should this
It's not like the 1950s and 1960s. The minute that
they still
baby
don't hold her criminally
hits
out. They
its
don't hold her
mother's
criminally
womb,
negligent.
you put a swab up in there and you get the information. And it's really, really shitty on her part that she
And
put.
there's a lot of shitty people out here. And she's not held criminal.
But
You
you shouldn't be held criminally.
that is criminal. You took my money for years.
Oh wait, money. I thought you said had the baby and it's not yours.
Right, it's not yours. Now we're
No,
not together, but I'm
I
paying
think you
child
should pay
support.
restitution. I don't think you should
They
go to
don't do
jail.
that.
No. I know they don't. What I'm saying is I think you should pay restitution. Should you go to jail? No.
Yes.
Should you? I don't agree with that. That's going to jail for nonsense.
You could try and.
All right. Could a guy go
I
to
think
jail
you
for
should definitely pay
And here's the
restitution.
point. From the realistic point of view, this is not something that happens as often.
no, it happens a lot. I know at least four
Not
guys that
nearly
happened
as
to.
often as women being shamed for not wanting to be mothers before they're ready, or not wanting to have X amount of children just because they conceived X amount of times.
Nikki says she should go to jail. She agrees with you, Oz.
because she's smart. But
No, there should be consequences. You should have to pay that money
there
back.
should be consequences,
There should
but
be
they don't.
No,
They-
that's
they-
what I said. I said it should be a restitution thing. Like there should be consequences. I'm not saying, oh, pat on the back. Okay, girl, you made a mistake. No,
No, I
because
just seriously saw something on the news like a month or two ago where this guy over years was paying child support. It got found out later that his wife had a baby outside of the marriage and it wasn't his. And they said he still had to take care of that baby and he still had to pay the child support, even though it's not his baby. That's not fair.
Well, no, I will say this. I will say this. There are men, and I do agree with this. There are men who get in these kids' lives at 6 months, 2 years old, because they all good with the mom. The mom is look good and everything. You accepting this child. You in this child's life today.
Yeah, that
10,
is probably
whatever.
find the birth certificate.
Huh?
That's because his name is on the birth certificate.
No.
Right, but he was
No,
told
no,
it
I'm
was
just saying Nikki's comment. His name is on the birth certificate.
But what I'm saying is, even if the name is not on the birth certificate, even none of that happened. If you're in this child's life and this child only knows you as dad, and now that you and the mom is not together, and you bitter because you and the mom not together, that's fucked up to now get out of this child's life and say that you don't want to be this child's father, and you're all this child knows. So you should stay there. You should be
no.
responsible.
I agree with that. I'm not talking about from that perspective. I'm talking about from the perspective that you were blatantly lied to.
I agree. Restitution.
Okay,
Give him all his goddamn money, and a
or go
percentage
to
of
jail,
that. Look, and a percentage over that,
or go to jail.
or go to jail.
That's right. But now, all right.
They'll never make anybody go to jail over that, but they may make a
But they
settlement
should,
judgment, which
because
means
guys go to jail if you don't pay child support.
Because you made that kid.
Listen to what you just said. Because you made that kid.
Yeah, if you
But
don't take care of your kid, you should go to you should go to
right.
jail.
But if
and
you
they
You
take
should go to
care of
hell
someone
and jail.
else's kid, if you take care of someone else's kid, and you find
You
out,
should be paid back restitution. You
but
should.
what if she doesn't pay you back?
Then maybe go to jail.
You still saying, man.
Right, but like Layla said, now the kid don't got no mother because now she in jail. She ain't got no daddy. The child now a
All right,
bastard.
but
And
now
she
if the
never
father
got no
goes to jail, you don't got no father.
But then you should take care of your responsibilities.
All right.
Men should take care of their responsibilities. I'm sorry. If you're
This
out,
should be our next topic.
what?
The double standards in society.
No, that
oh,
will never be our topic.
That's
No.
that
definitely
would be
a good topic.
great.
No.
That'd be
Because it is
No.
definitely a double
That's
standard in
just
society.
going to be an hour-long argument.
No, that's all good, but it would definitely
let's
be a
argue for an hour.
it would definitely be a good
No.
topic
And
because
energy.
there's definitely double standards. Men are held to a certain standard that women are never held to, and women say, "Oh, we want to be treated
Oh
equal."
my God, cry me a fucking river.
But even now, look what we're saying. Oh well, why should the woman go to jail? No, she should because she did criminal shit.
I'm not disagreeing. You know, there's levels. You worked for the NYPD. There's levels to paying your debt back to society, whether it's restitution,
Yeah, Layla,
whether
I'm with you. Men created the standards, and now they're like, they hate when it comes around and bites them in the ass.
Nikki says she agrees with you, Wise.
Because Nikki's on point.
I agree. It's a double standard. It is a double standard. But Well, all I'm saying is, yes, you should be held. She should be held accountable. I'm not saying she should not be. If you out there mistaking who you had a kid with, then you should be held accountable, especially if he paid for this child. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. But should we go as far as to, should they go to jail? I don't know, because then now this child, what if the child's 3? Now this child in foster care because the mom said the next man was the baby daddy and it wasn't, and now she's gonna be in foster care. Now the state is gonna have to pay um for this child because the mom's mistake. So the
All right,
state is paying for the child to be in foster care, and the state is paying for the mom to be in jail.
what is our next uncompatibility? What
Our
is
next compatibility, let's find out.
Oh, I got one.
No, wait a minute. Okay, what's your one?
My one is, well, I don't think that's uncompatible.
What?
If I'm a laid back person and the next person is super outgoing and stuff like that, you can still make that work.
Yeah, you can. You can.
You can.
I
You
agree.
can.
You can.
But the thing is, and here comes the incompatibility part. Will it cause a resentment?
If it causes resentment that somebody's super laid back and the other person is not, then you got a
No,
little bit.
the laid back person is more likely to have the resentment over time. They're
But
laid
for what?
back, they like to chill, and you want to go out every weekend. You want to go to the clubs, you want to, you know,
I want to
Right.
go to
Like
the club with you.
Paul said, opposites attract.
I agree.
And
not
opposites,
all the time.
well, it's to a point. I agree, it's to a point. I can't, like me, I like going out, I like having fun. But I can't fuck with a female that want to be in the bar every weekend. I
I
know that's not me.
can't. I spent many
Layla,
years. I spent
Layla
many
is
years
funny.
with a man who would not dance with me.
See, now that's a whole different thing.
He
And,
would never, under any circumstances, for any reason, no matter what music was playing, he would not dance with me. And Sean knows me well enough that I dance for no fucking reason.
Right.
I just
You
started.
cut, you cut a rug at the wedding.
I did, right?
Yeah, you did.
And at your 40th, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
but
And
see, Layla's talking about Day Day. You see how wise is, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So picture my son. He's gonna be a little laid back like his dad, and we're a little more in the cut. But and that's also the thing. He's a little older than her. So he already went through all the wild shit that he wanted to get off.
But does he understand that this is her wild season?
But now let me answer Layla. And I'm gonna answer Layla in Sean's voice.
You're gonna answer in Auntie Sean voice?
In Auntie Sean's voice. Layla, people treat you the way you allow them to treat you.
Come on now. Come on now.
People treat you the way you allow them to treat you. So if you allow certain shit's gonna happen. That's my son, but I don't take sides. I'm honest with shit. Like you gotta be real. And that's a conversation both of them have to have. And you gotta come to a happy medium. Period.
I agree with that.
I Yeah, I come from a family of people who love to have a good time. I love to have a good time. I've My 83-year-old father still loves to have a good time. He's another person, he will cut a rug for no real reason. He dance in the kitchen. He does not care. And this is dancing will break out on Thanksgiving if we so choose. Karaoke will break out in the middle of Christmas dinner. Like, I could not, you know, I could never get the person that I was in a relationship with to participate in
But
events.
now, let me ask you something else with that, because I also feel it depends on the person you're with. And some people may do things for one person that they won't do for the next person. That's why I also have heard women go, well, when he dated me, he didn't do that, but he did it for the next chick. I heard dudes go, when she was with me, she didn't do that, but she did it for the next dude. So it depends
I
on,
that.
No,
it
my
depends
last
on,
relationship, I did a lot of things that I never did, even for somebody I was married to for 15 years and with for almost 20 years.
right. It sometimes it depends on how you yoke up together and how things go.
So here's what I like, because I feel like when you're compatible or not, or when you get in a relationship and you're compatible, there's to me there's a difference between being extremely compatible and then the other person might not like
Hold up,
certain
not to
things.
cut you off, but what Layla just said is kind of on point. You can
Absolutely.
feel comfortable in certain environments, but not another.
But
Right.
in
So she
in
may
the
be
case of,
somewhere feeling like, "Woo, okay, I'm cool, I'm good, I'm good," and he may be like, "Hold up, this just don't hit me right." So
Right.
it depends on a lot of stuff, but that's all in the conversation.
there were other times when, like, it was just the two of us. And I mentioned that it would really mean something to me, and like on a profound level of intimacy,
Hmm.
if it was just the two of us and he gave me that.
So he's never danced with you ever.
No, and it was like trying to explain that
I would
to
have tripped
me,
his
that's
ass down the
supposing a
stairs.
type of intimacy.
You would what?
Tripped his ass down a flight of stairs.
Why?
Because let me tell you something. Even with my son, I get on my son about Layla a lot because I'm like, yo, this is your woman. You're supposed to make your woman feel great at all times, and vice versa. So now she's telling this man,
On preach?
if she's telling this man, I need this, I need you to dance with me and make me feel good. Even if
Right.
I had three left feet and I couldn't dance, I'm gonna do something to show her I care and I'm invested in her. And to me, that's a problem. And that
And
goes
I
back,
That
even found different kind of music.
right.
Like on Sirius, there is a channel that plays like alternative rock extended remix. And I dug deep in my Sirius subscription and I found it. It's not really the music that I would choose to dance with.
Uh-huh.
It's not, it's a little bit different, but I could get with it. I could get with anything. But it came down to like somebody's not giving you something that like your heart fundamentally needs.
Right. And that's a problem.
It is a
But
problem.
that's deeper than compatibility. That
yeah,
comes down to that comes down to just not giving a fuck.
that's true too.
That's deeper
That
because it's
level of, but see, that's where like the pink flag in the beginning, like
right.
when we were just dating before it got serious, he went with me to my one niece's wedding and I asked him to dance and he was like, "Mm, can't do it." But I gave him grace because it was a big, big wedding, my whole family, and there's a lot of them, just like a whole lot of them. And it was noisy and it was crazy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let you sit and you don't have to do anything other than be. But then like the next time, and not understanding that this was something that was like, you're not really with me.
And I probably would have left his fucking ass home.
Let me tell you something, Barbara. As your
Now,
friend,
I probably,
no, from here on in,
because you ain't gonna keep making me feel retarded. Nah, I'd probably left him home
well,
and
you know the
had
whole
a
thing.
blast.
as your friend, say I'm at one of your parties or whatever, and
Oh,
I'm
I
seeing
already
you.
told you, when you are able to dance,
Uh-huh.
I am going dancing with you.
Oh, I get down. I get down.
No, when you're
Yeah.
up 100, when you're back 100,
Yeah,
I'm
I get
coming
down.
to Staten Island and I'm gonna dance with you.
But my thing I'm saying is, if we're at a party and a guy is there with you, and I see him just at the table the whole time, I'm like, I would have told you, yo, leave that motherfucker home the next time. Like, what's wrong with him?
Somebody would have to tell me that. Oh, where you going? Oh, I'm going. You're not coming because you ain't gonna keep doing this dumb shit to me. No.
All right, now this is our next compatibility one.
Yeah, please.
That's a little that like I had to get controversial somewhere in here.
Uh-oh.
You have to be sexually compatible also.
Oh,
that's-
hell yeah.
That's very important. You
That's
can't be a dude that wants it 4 out of the 7 days and she wants it 1 month out of 7 months.
not.
Like,
Oh,
or
no.
vice versa. Or
No,
vice versa.
that's the thing. But my thing is like, that's not controversial. That's a common sense. It goes back to like, you can't be a 1 day a week girl and go with a 6 day a week man,
Right.
and vice versa.
Right.
Like,
You can't be a person that likes whips and chains and he likes just missionary.
But see, you know what? I do believe that you can bring some people into your sexual thing. I think, like, because in the conversation, you could be like, listen, I like this, this, this. I feel like if your partner care about you, if I tell you, I'm not, I'm using this as an example, this didn't really happen. If I told Kevin, if I told Kevin,
sorry now.
right, if I told Kevin, oh, I still got my handcuffs from the police department. I like to be cuffed up. And
I still got mine.
how did I know you was gonna say that? And I like to be handcuffed.
I bet Nikki still got hers.
If you and Holt.
Yeah, we know Hulk got hers.
So but to me, that goes without saying, if you're into pleasing your mate and being being into what your mate wants, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think you can pull somebody into your shit.
If they're willing to be pulled.
Now, if they're not, then that's a whole different thing.
Right.
But that
That's the
also
thing.
happens in the interview when you're finding out if you're compatible. Listen, you be like, because then, 9 out of 10 times, example, like, I like oral sex. And if the other person is like, I don't really like,
Ew.
if I really don't like oral sex, but I'm open. If somebody tell you they open, then you could pull them into your world.
But I'm gonna give it to you in reverse. I know a couple of young ladies that's like, I'll give, but I don't want to receive.
I've talked to somebody like that,
Right.
and I think that's
I'm not gonna have a problem with that.
honestly, I think that's like an insecurity thing. To be honest,
I think that's
Yeah, I think that is insecure. And sometimes also, a lot of women, when they got to the point where the pleasure is like starting to blow their mind, they feel like they don't deserve it. Like they don't want to just lay back and like let the pleasure go top to bottom, side to side. They just, I mean, my personal opinion is nobody doesn't like it.
I know a few.
But
what, that don't like oral sex?
Yep.
it doesn't like that sensation.
They don't like
Maybe
it.
you don't like somebody,
I know a girl that said that is nasty and disgusting.
but you want that
Yes.
sensation because it is. It's like the sensation that all other sensations compares itself to.
And some people like goes with the religious part. So she was like, that's nasty and disgusting. And how could you allow a man to do that then kiss you? So it depends on the person. But
Yeah,
then
Yeah, like that's exactly what I'm saying. Past coital anxiety, like it wasn't good. They couldn't find it. It made you anxious, and now you just can't like absorb the pleasure. And
this is also where me and Barbara always butt heads about this part. How could I put this?
say it.
Our number game. Where like when you said the compatibility, and Barbara gets mad at me when I say this, Layla gets mad at me when I say this, but me as a guy, I said I don't want a woman with a certain amount of bodies. That's me. Some guys don't care, some guys do care. So
you are, you know what? And that's one of those things where it could be, you could become resentful.
right.
Don't even enter into a relationship if you can see something that's going to make you resentful sometime down the road.
Agreed.
Say
No, I
you
agree with that
um,
100%.
and she's a 10 out of 10,
Oh,
but she
Nikki's off my thing now.
high numbers.
Nikki said, "What if she lies to you?"
Well, most women lie anyway, so it don't
That's
even
not
matter.
true because I don't ever lie. I never lied about that. I
I got no
never
reason to
lied
lie.
about that. I never lied
I got
about that.
no reason to lie.
Okay. Some do. Some do.
Like Nikki said, how would you know?
No, I
You
wouldn't know, but I would see. I'm the dude. First
Check
of
your
all, I'm not.
odometer.
I'm not even gonna ask. I'm not even gonna ask
not even
because
going down there.
I was always told, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. So
Facts.
I'm not gonna ask. But now, say we having a conversation, we're conversing, and you tell me, damn, by the time I was 20, I already slept with 134 guys. I'm
Mm,
getting up for like no, I'll probably finish the dinner,
I'm
but
gonna stop breathing.
I'm not gonna speak to you no more after that. It's a wrap.
What if that person could have been a good friend?
I'm talking about intimately. We could be friends,
Ugh, God.
but we're not trying. I'm not trying to go there.
What is the acceptable number for you?
It depends on the age to me.
But it depends on the age.
All
At
right.
our age, at our age, if a woman slept with, I don't even know. I don't even want to say that. But
So
under
Layla said, so
100,
let's be real, high is too high.
under 100, definitely 100 is
Yeah,
too
that's
high.
what I'm saying. Give us a number.
100 to me is
Well,
too
we'll
high.
figure.
100 to me is too high for a dude.
100
There's
is
people.
too high for anybody.
Well,
You have no sense of intimacy.
Right. And I feel like you might have an STD.
but it's something I said to a couple of weeks ago. Men aren't valued like women. That's why I put value on how many men a woman has been through. Like you, a woman, a man has to work to get a woman. A woman don't have to do jack to get a man. You can
That's
lay there
true.
like a dead fish and a guy will come to you. So my thing is, I put value on a woman, and I put value on how a woman values herself. So if you're for everybody in the hood, if the whole block already had you, I don't want you.
And that's preference. And I think you are just, that's your preference. And you're
Right.
allowed to your preference.
Right.
And
I
that's part of the whole compatibility thing, because
Right.
that is your preference. And long term, having a number you can't live with is going to cause you
re-
emotional distress and
yeah,
resentment.
yep.
So, bye
Right.
bye.
Right. I'd rather just walk away, be like, all right, have a good life. We could be friends though. We could go out and have a
Layla
couple of
said, "How
drinks.
you even remember that many occurrences?"
Oh, I remember. I
I don't know.
remember.
But my loves, we are at the hour.
So we ain't
Okay.
gonna talk about our next. What's the next one? I think I had a very good idea.
What?
What was it?
How you forgot the
Oh
double
man,
standards?
yeah, the double standards.
Oh, I'm gonna do some. If you want double standards, it's gonna be double standards. But
Double
I'm
standards is good.
telling you
But
that
see,
I'm
I'm
done
not.
with research.
But double standards. I'm
Y'all
not
need to
pro
come back
male.
for this because Wise and Barbara gonna fight this whole hour.
We are gonna fight.
I'm not. But I'm not pro male. I'm not pro male
Oh,
because
yes,
some
you are.
no some double standards for men are bad. Some double standards for women are bad.
I think
Or
he's
both.
old school. I think he's old school. I think Wise is still in the 50s a little bit. I think he's a man's old school
No, I don't. No, I
1950s.
don't
A
feel that
woman is
way.
supposed to be a flower, a delicate flower.
No, all right.
I
I
think
know we
that's
gotta go, but let me tell you what me and
You
Sean used
can
to
go
beef about.
from flower to flower, but a flower can't go from bee to bee.
Let me tell you what me and Sean used to beef about. Sean used to say, "I want a little house on the prairie woman,"
Yep.
and I said, "No, I don't want a little house on the prairie woman." But you look at women in 2022. Everything's on Facebook. Everything's on Instagram. Everything is about how much pussy popping they doing and how many niggas they got in their DMs. My woman, everybody don't have to know everything about my woman.
I agree with
Like
that.
everybody don't have to know everything about me. It's some stuff that should be private and just for us.
No,
And
no,
society has lost
I'm,
that.
I'm
I agree with
definitely
that.
with that. I'm definitely with that.
Thank you. Thank
Anyway,
you.
so 7 days from now, we're gonna
Yes.
talk about
Double standards.
double standards.
And I want all of them to come back. Layla, because me and
Thank
Now,
Layla
you.
always beef about the double standards.
Let's do it. Double
let's
standards.
do it.
All
Let's
right. Love you guys. It
love
was
you
a
guys.
pleasure. Thank everyone for coming and joining us.
Thank
Later.
you, thank you, thank you.
All
Have a
right.
great week.
You
Bye.
too. Bye bye.